Hello guys, and welcome back to Kolchak's Loop. I'm your host Bradley, and I'm going to start off with playing you a little intro to a show, and you guys tell me if you've ever seen it. For those of you who didn't know, that was The Outsider, and it had a lot of commonalities with Kolchak the Night Stalker. For one, it did star Darren McGavin. Both television shows were canceled after one season, and they both began as made-for-TV movies, while Kolchak had two and The Outsider only had one. But their cancellations were a bit different, and I think The Outsider got canceled for a little bit different reason. The first TV movie for The Outsider premiered on November 21st, 1967, to favorable reviews, and the series began production in 1968. But with 10 episodes already recorded, the unthinkable happened.
Mayor Yorty has just sent me a message that we've been here too long already. So, my thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there. Thank you.
Senator Kennedy has been shot. Is that possible? Is that possible? It could. Is it possible, ladies and gentlemen? It is possible. He has. Not only Senator Kennedy. Oh my God. Senator Kennedy has been shot, and another man, a Kennedy campaign manager, and possibly shot in the head. I am right here. Rafer Johnson has a hold of a man who apparently has fired the shot.
Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated on June 5th, 1968, and succumbed to his wounds on June 6th. And this came right off the heels of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination on April 4th of the same year.
The Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, 39 years old and a Nobel Peace Prize winner, and the leader of the nonviolent civil rights movement in the United States, was assassinated in Memphis tonight. A sniper's bullet cut down Dr. King as he stood on a hotel balcony in Memphis. Within an hour, Dr. King was dead. That happened at 7 p.m.
These two events not only sent television producers into a frenzy, but it also sent the whole nation into one. Sears and Roebuck pulled anything that even resembled a gun from their catalog, and Bloomingdale's did the same. One political commentator at the time wrote that it felt like the nation was being torn apart at the seams. The bleed over into television was felt immediately, and for a new private eye show like The Outsider, it was crippling. Entire episodes had to be reworked and reshot to take out anything resembling a gun, and some episodes were so riddled with violence that they had to be discarded and never made air. Even the intro, which showed Darren McGavin's character brandishing a pistol, had to be reworked and reshot and completely changed. But an episode including a knife fight and a car crash had to be hatcheted to even make air. And what about those handful of episodes that ran short? Well, don't worry. NBC plugged in a short public service announcement at the end to fill the rest of the lot.
Don't walk until the light turns green. Always cross at corners where motorists expect you and where you can see them. Cross at the green, not in between. In any language, it's a way of life.
And reviews of the new show weren't kind. The Chicago Daily News said that it's one thing to lack violence, but it's another thing to avoid drama.
What's your point?
And Clay Gowron, praising Darren's performance as one that is among the best and most believable, called the pilot episode's peaceful plotline indicative of the whole series.
Yeah, but probably isn't good enough for you, is it, huh? You have got to be twice as good.
The show was short-lived and canceled after one season. It didn't draw big ratings, but whether that was the case or it was the new constraints put on NBC, who really knows? I mean, could you blame a huge network for being reluctant to renew a television show where Private Eye wielding a gun fights criminals wielding guns? Who knows what could have been if Robert Kennedy wasn't assassinated and the show wasn't cut up to make air. Sure, McGavin did have 15 different television appearances and one movie appearance from the period from 1968 at the show's cancellation and 1972 when The Night Stalker premiered, but none of those other roles were intensive or as demanding as The Outsiders had been. For a single season of the show, 28 episodes were shot. That is more episodes than every other television and movie appearance he had, combined from 1968 to 1972. Maybe in a world where there is no Robert Kennedy assassination, there is no Kolchak. Darren McGavin's hit television show is The Outsider, and the works of Jeff Rice are helmed by someone else or even left to languish in obscurity. Of course, this is all conjecture, and we're left with the hand we're dealt. At the end of the day, maybe it was meant for David Ross's character to take the fall as he did in The Outsider for a crime he didn't commit. And like Kolchak has many times, he avoids uncertain danger to live to report another day. Albert Einstein once said that reality is merely an illusion, albeit a persistent one. And if any one person has ever embodied persistence, that would have to be one, Carl Kolchak. Thank you again for everybody for watching, and until next time, you can find all things Kolchak inside the loop.